Welcome, everybody, to the Daily HiFi podcast. It is 4 p.m. Pacific time and on a Monday, and here we are. My name's Chana. I'm here with Eric.
God. You know what? I quit.
Aaron, Joe, and my look. You know what?
Joe.
Joe, Michael, and Aaron. Okay, look. That countdown really threw me off because
was it slow or not?
Yeah, like the key was changed, so it's either slower or something happened. I can't wait to listen to this later tonight and like another one because like it was usually like higher pitch, a little bit faster. I'm like, what is going on? And I was getting text messages at the same time.
He's basically trying to skirt around that. Is all.
I got confused. I'm like, I didn't even know what to say. Anyway, what's up, everybody? What's going on? We got Boy Genius, Eric, Albert, Dome Tweeter, Dean Rosenberg, Big Jack 79, Jed Presley. What is up, fellas?
What's going on, man?
Yeah. What up? Hey, before we get started, I want to try to do a screen share of something real fast that popped into my brain earlier. It's not bad. Don't worry. Let's see here. Slides. Extra camera. What is this stuff? Share.
Is there more stuff now?
Oh, it's not let me. That's weird.
What do you mean? Share screen?
Oh, I totally missed it. It was the bottom one. All right. Yeah, that was all me. I don't know if the audio is going to come through on this or not. But this is how I feel about Joe whenever he starts talking about Atmos or Oro 3D, I should say.
That's it.
You're going down the path I can't follow.
That's it. That's all I wanted to say.
That was good, Johnny. That's hilarious.
We couldn't hear the voices, but Chana
audio.
Oh, he did it perfectly then. Good.
Yeah, he got it.
That's
exactly. I remember that scene.
Like, man, he was on it too,
movies, dude. I watch movies. I don't know,
but I mean, you were like the perfect timing and everything.
I'm like, I know this scene.
That was almost like we rehearsed that. That was really good. Right? I feel like you should get the chip. You should get the chip for that.
The chip? What chip?
The championship. The chip.
Oh,
chip.
Okay.
We going to the ship. The chip.
Don't worry.
That was a hardball reference.
Oh. We're gonna catch you up soon. It's my mission. Catch you up. Once you start doing some upgrades, you're gonna have to one day.
He's got to get
them all off.
Pro Logic first.
Yeah.
And when you do, I think you're gonna just be like, "Oh man, not gonna lie, I kind of like it." That's how I hear it. I hear it already.
If you only kind of like it, then you got the wrong system.
I agree. I think Atmos is probably going to be better. I did a live stream, by the way, and I told people I've hit it since then because I don't want it floating out there in the ether. But I told people to go to your channel and just say, "Hey, Aaron sent me, and he told me to tell you that Oro 3D sucks." And then I countered that, and I said, "Now go to Gene's channel and tell him that Aaron sent you and say the Atmos sucks." And I said, "We're going to start a war."
Hilarious.
I don't think anybody did it though. I was kind of sad.
That's funny.
Yeah, man.
It's not too late, everybody.
Yeah,
y'all can still do it.
You can still do that.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I think I have it blocked up. Atmos sucks is like blocked on my channel.
Oh, okay. Well, that makes sense.
I'll never see it.
Approve it.
You can do it. Just never see it. What's new with you guys?
He has Oro 3. Any comments that say Oro 3D, they're just automatically pinned.
Yeah, automatically pinned.
They're just pinned.
He's got a script written for it.
That's right.
Look at all those movies.
Yeah, this my computer's tired, dude. I ripped all 17 of these discs over the last 2 days.
Nice.
Oh, 4.
This is the Thor 3 movie collection. Blade in Blu-ray. The only thing I'm still and I got some Conan, got some Legend. Red Sonja's on the way. Red Sonja's going to take a couple weeks to get here. And the Mummy. This is 4K.
Now
I'm excited about
that. This one I'm excited for, the Stanley Kubrick visionary filmmaker collection. There's like 5 movies in here, or 6. Lolita, 2001, Space Odyssey, Clockwork Orange, Barry Lyndon. I have no idea what that is. The Shining, Full Metal Jacket. Oh, and Eyes Wide Shut. So there's 7. Yeah. Put them all on the Zapedi today.
Yeah,
that was a nice 9-hour transfer. All those movies over the network. I'm like, oh, it's like snail's pace over here.
So what's new? Michael, what have you been up to?
I'm actually trying to relax a little bit, finally. So it's finally slowing down a little bit. So I'm finally catching a breath. Got to edit a video tomorrow for Wednesday. So I've got another home theater tour coming up. So I'm trying to do one of those a week and then one like product review a week, and then possibly a third video a week, kind of answering questions. So just finished up pretty much most of my website stuff. So I'm caught up there finally. So that's good. Had to get a bunch of those big projects out of the way. And so other than that, man, life is good.
Are you wearing a Martin Logan shirt?
Yeah, this is one of my little freebies they hooked me up with about a year ago.
How come you're not wearing an
He's a
M-Wave
sponsor.
shirt?
Isn't he a sponsor?
Why are you drinking beer?
This is my Celsius. This is like zero. I think it's 0 calorie. It's good, man. It's like it's better than a soda. You know, tastes good. It's like a fruit
Soda.
Yeah, you won't ever see me drinking a beer, man.
Look at that.
You got not better than this,
dude.
Real sugar.
Trust me, dude. I love bottled
real
Coke.
sugar, huh?
Love it.
Bottled Coke.
Yeah, that's what they say anyway.
Yeah,
it tastes different.
The one.
I mean, when I drink it, I hear angels and sparkles.
Yeah, the ones that come from Mexico, they use the real cane syrup, so it is sweeter. It's actually really good. Hey, thanks, Box Kerp. Appreciate it, man. Yeah,
I got some cool RCA cables. You want to see?
Crazy high-end theater seats from Valencia. They're not cheap.
Oh, those red ones, the red and black, the Buck fan one. Oh,
$13,000
for two. Just for the one pair or the pair.
Yeah,
right?
for two. Yeah, but I guess the more you think about it,
wow.
with that, anything that all right, Joe, if you wanted to get a custom Rolex, are you going to pay a whole lot more for that?
Yeah, $200,000. What are we looking at, Joe? The $200,000 ones, like the other weekend?
Yeah, they won't. I don't know.
Yeah,
so I have no idea what that costs. It's just like
Chana, if you bought a custom Audi, you know, like you're like, I don't even want that engine in there. I want a different engine.
Oh yeah, no,
I want a different muffler, and I want
actually the ones we're getting has like they added on resonators. Excuse me, it was like $1,000 add-on. Yeah. But I think they do that with every.
I think so. I mean, if you're going to do any kind of custom stuff, you're going to pay for it. So they're not geared for the masses by any means. That is not this series. It's really for those that just have maybe just like a really unique home theater, and you want to kind of match that to either your personality or to your favorite football, sports, or whatever. So
yeah. But what are these cables you're showing?
I had to buy like 16 cables, so I'm like, what can I get that's cheap? It's for down here, so it's like these $12 cables. I don't know, they're not the crazy cheap, but it has a little.
That's cool.
They're pretty nice, little braid going on, little, and it does this like thing where it like combines into one, so it's like less visual impact and less wires. Sort of.
They don't look very bendy though.
Actually,
do they? Okay, all right.
Pretty bendy, I guess.
Because I have some HDMI cable that just like doesn't move.
Oh, dude, some of those are just so bad.
I feel like it lifts up like, if you have it on the NVIDIA Shield, like it lifts it up.
Oh, dude. Well, the Shield is like all plastic and super light, dude. I feel like I might destroy that thing if 2-foot drop compared to everything else. But
I had one of our viewers give me a call the other day, and he was asking me about RCA cables and what he should get, and he had some that were like, I don't know, inexpensive, $30 and $60, and I ended up telling him, like, how long have you been looking? How much time are you spending looking at these different RCA cables? I said, just buy the one that you're gonna mentally be okay with. You know what I mean? Like, you don't want to buy the cheap ones and be thinking, oh, should I have bought this other one? Like, I think they're all gonna be okay, but get the one that's gonna quiet your mind. I don't know. That's kind of the way I do it.
I agree. I generally say the same thing. Like, I don't sweat fancy cables other than, hey, man, if you want to, knock yourself out, but I don't think it's a impediment to good sound quality or anything. So get what you want to get,
Interesting fact.
I'm looking at Fred's comment here. He saw what he said about the custom chair.
What did he say?
I saw
I'm going to put funny. Oro 3D on the back. Oh, man.
Oh, I can't get over how expensive you said those were. Like, that's
$13,000.
That's mind blowing. I mean, literally, that's a car.
Yeah,
Mike, where was that? Is that in the Facebook group? Where is it?
So on what? Yeah, I mean, I put it on my Facebook group, Youthman Crew.
I saw the video.
It's on my page. They're pretty high end. So
Well, so here's the deal. I thought before I started watching the video, I thought it was your seats because I thought like,
Oh,
well, maybe he
yeah,
put them in his living room just to try them out. And I was like, I didn't even know he was a Bucks fan, you know?
yeah.
But then when you watch it, you were like, oh, I'm with so and so, and I was like, oh, okay, they're his. But I think the title kind of made me think that they were going to be yours. It kind of caught me off guard at first.
Well,
No,
I did design them, but I didn't. They weren't.
Yeah, I think because you said something like mine or something like that, and so
I said something like I design or these custom theater seats that I designed are fire.
yeah.
What I wanted to know was, were you sitting in front of the seats and pointing, or did you cut yourself out?
Oh, I took that here and then Photoshop.
Okay. I'm like,
Yeah, that's Photoshop.
he Mr. Beasted.
The lighting is interesting.
Mr. Beasted it.
how do you describe that face? I want to learn how to do that.
I don't know. That's like the
Can you teach me how to do that? Because you always get a ton of views.
that's the exciting.
What is that face called? Like, just
That's the
It's pistol hand smiley.
I will say this: it looks like your pointing finger, is almost Photoshop, just because it looks like it's going in a different direction.
Yeah, it's probably pointing.
Then it doesn't follow the curvature of your arm.
YouTube thumbnail face.
Yeah,
YouTube thumbnail face.
it's like
I don't know how to do that face. I can't do it.
I still think Michael's best thumbnail though is the one where your wife is like, got the big smile.
that was funny.
Yeah.
Too funny. Youth man
Pistol hand
enthusiasm. I like that, RGA. That's good.
Yeah, there it
YouTube
is.
thumbnail face. Yep. Too
Yeah, those seats are pretty crazy.
Well, I like the fact that you can literally you can customize everything, but they do kind of nickel and dime you on everything. So if you want, and maybe that's just the way it works because, they're having to basically contact the factory and say, okay, here's what we want. We want these cup holders. We want this RGB lights. We want this primary color. We want this secondary color. Oh, by the way, I need you to embroider this. So, I mean, we want different color piping. So, I mean, when you're making that many changes to, this is just Martin Logan.
No, he's saying I think he might be saying the face is like, I just got it.
Oh, God. Yeah, funny. Gotcha. Yeah. Clickbait. No, clickbait is when you click on something that isn't true.
Yeah. Like the video doesn't have that kind of content.
Right. Like if I put I'm quitting and one of these, and then you're like, oh, he's gonna stop YouTube. No, I'm just quitting drinking soda. That's and it's like that. Yeah, right.
It works though. I think that stuff works.
So the goal is, so here's the reality with YouTube, you can have the best video. Like Aaron can spend 2 months, analyzing a bunch of speakers, doing this subwoofer shootout. And if nobody watches the video,
right,
what does it matter? The video, it doesn't impact people. So we as content creators have to kind of not learn the system, but we have to learn or at least try to think through the process of what would be clickable, what would cause somebody to click this video, because if they're just scrolling past it, then all that time and energy that we put into this video that we're super passionate about, it's kind of a bummer, man. We want people to watch it, it's not just for views sake, but it's because we've poured our hearts and our souls into these videos, something that we're passionate about. I mean, when Joe made his Oro 3D video, there ain't no telling how many hours you spent on that,
I bet I would have got more views if I would have done that face though.
The face is it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oro 3.
That's why I'm not even joking when I say, man, can you teach me how to do? What are you thinking about? Like,
I don't think.
I got it right, Joe. You need one. There's a thumbnail.
I don't think I ever make that face. There's no time see that I just don't do that.
Joe's new thumbnails are like this though.
Yeah.
I thought glasses.
Maybe I'll do that. Maybe I'll do like a nerdy face.
So going off of what Michael said though, it's a really good point, and it's something like even I struggle with, because I know key phrases and things that I could say to get people to watch my videos, but then I don't want to seem like I'm too clickbaity, right? Like it's a struggle. Like you don't want to come off as like super cheesy, but at the same time, if you can't get people to watch it, then so it's kind of, for me, it's kind of a struggle. I don't know about you guys, but and I don't think y'all's are clickbait either, but I certainly see others, and I'm like, man, come on, you know, like every video that they drop has the best in it, like every single one of them.
Well,
The best
Like, come
AVR
on.
of 2022.
that's
Of
my most
quarter
recent,
one of 2022.
my most recent video was that my April Fool's video.
Oh yeah.
And you know, in the thumbnail, I just try to think of what did I name this thing? On the thumbnail it says best amazing,
Right.
like
Yeah,
in
something
bright
like that.
yellow. And then I went and I did a Google search for like synonyms for best, and I just started writing stuff up. And it says culmination of decades of research championed new era of home. This is how these people talk, right?
Right.
Like other reviews, I've heard them say stuff like that. And
Yeah.
to me, it's
That's
kind of
awesome.
good, I guess, if you can talk that way.
I think we all can. It's just that we don't want to, right? Like we're cognizant of what we're saying, and we're like, if we say that, man, that's going to sound like that's kind of the antithesis of the things that we want to be as reviewers. I think.
See, he I don't even use that word. Aaron does.
Yeah, antithesis.
I just Googled it right now.
I'd have
I
to
just Googled it right now.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, you know, it's funny just because lately, as you guys may know, I've been like getting into watches. Like it's fun to kind of go into other hobbies for a second, right? Kind of get out of audio just to see what other people are doing and to see how they make their videos. Even though it's a review of, you know, a product. That's what we do, right? We review products. It just happens we're reviewing an audio product.
RJ
Was yeah. So, you know, what these guys that review watches, they always kind of tell a story along with it, you know? So they're kind of giving you the history of the company, and then they go on to tell you a little bit more. They're, you know, so it's kind of the same thing. So I guess it's about making it more interesting. Right?
Yeah. Yeah, no, I agree.
I wish that was better.
It'd be boring, right? Even sometimes I'm watching my video, like, man, this is boring. I don't know why you guys are watching this. This is boring, man.
But the thing is, like, to me, if you do, like, I start to do, okay, when I first started reviewing stuff, I was like, I'm going to tell the background of how this thing is made and all the parts. I'm like, dude, that's marketing. Like, anybody can go Google that. Let me save you time. I'm just going to get straight to the point of what my review is going to be about. Yeah. And then I'm expecting the people to do their own due diligence as far as reviewing to see if they want to buy the thing, whatever it is. So, I mean, I get it and I agree, but at some point, it's like bordering on infomercial too, you know?
Yeah.
So
one thing I love seeing is when each one of us allows our personality to come out in the video. So prime example, Life of Bliss did a very similar video. I mean, he reviewed a pair of Valencia's theater seats, and it wasn't the custom ones, but they were the higher end, their Ultimate Luxury Series.
The XL,
and,
right?
Dude, throughout the whole video, man, he just did some really cool, funny, and it was just his personality. It wasn't your standard review, you know. He used Yoda in there, and he got creative with a lightsaber and added some sound effects. I'm like, that was cool. Then later on, he pulls out a pistol with a silencer out of the cubby. He's like, it can even store this, you know. It's like that's his personality, you know. And then, you know, he's like, man, these things are softer than a baby's butt. And he picks up his daughter and starts to pull down her drawer, you know, and then it bleeps out. But it was just funny, you know, because like, oh my goodness. So I think when we're able to do that, and I know for me, a lot of times it's fear of it'll come off as cheesy or, you know, people aren't going to like it. But the reality, I'm like, if you're goofy, be goofy. If you're funny, be funny. If you're dry, just be dry. Don't be scared to be you. And I think that's what people resonate, you know.
Yeah. I get that. I mean, for this last video, the April Fool's one, you know, I always bust out a Fresh Hater J, right?
Yeah.
Sunglasses, accents.
Yeah, I like that return of him, by the way.
Yeah.
But you know what? Realistically, like, that guy's kind of me, though. Like,
Right.
it's just,
It allows you to be you.
He's your evil twin.
Like, do I really act like that? Kind of.
Sometimes.
I kind of do sometimes act like that. And sometimes I act, you know, like the professor. It's just,
Sure.
no, I think we're a little bit more complex than just like, this is
One thing.
one side of you.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
absolutely.
I think
Absolutely.
that's why I like to do these. Is just like,
Yeah.
just be normal. You know what I mean?
Sure.
You just chit chat.
Yeah.
I like it. You're Fresh Hater J when you talk to me on the phone, though. Like, you're so mean to me, dude. You're like, oh, you don't even know what you're talking about, man. And your shirts are lame, dude. Step up your game. Get some cool
Get your
flower
measurements
shirts.
out of here.
Yeah, nobody needs your measurements. Stupid.
Oh man,
Uh,
that's actually not true. Anytime I call Aaron on the phone, it's usually
nice.
because I have like highly technical questions that are way too long to type, and so I'm like, let me just ask you.
It's
And
easier.
typically,
Yeah.
he'll give like an answer that just like, so matter of fact, and I'm like, I still don't get it, but I don't want to ask anymore. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Dude,
I don't want to keep asking because he just said it so like it's just like this.
ask again.
I'm like, oh,
Ask
man.
again.
Yeah.
Ask again. We all learn.
Box Kerp, someone should try a video in a monotone voice. Just go to YouTube and type in HD TV test, and it's all of it, just complete monotone. Vincent, great guy, but damn, like I will always knock out like in the first like 3 minutes. Like I just can't. I gotta like mute it and then put on the subtitles.
That's how you fall asleep, right?
No. Yeah, watching his videos. If
that's
I'm
what
at
I'm
work,
saying.
like tonight, I just watch his videos with the voice on. Oh man, it's just I'm out. I'm out. Yeah.
I don't know. I'm just kind of thinking, would you guys want to do a review where you didn't have to do measure, or for Aaron, right? Would you like to do a review where you didn't have to do a measurement? Really?
No.
Like, or are you just like straight up like,
No.
this is how I feel about this. I like it, and that's it.
Yeah, I like measurements. Like a good example is Hobie sent me some monoprice THX speakers, and he sent me the tower speaker, right? And I can't measure it. It's literally just like 1 inch too large. It maxes out the limits for my clipple because I can't. Right. That's why I emailed him about. Yeah,
dude, say Hobie, I'm just gonna chop this thing off. But Kyle would do that. He'd get his grinder out. He'd start,
grinder. I don't want to talk to Kyle about grinder.
He pulled out a grinder in his latest video.
Oh, okay. So I thought we were talking about the app. I didn't know. So anyway, but yeah, so that kind of defeats the purpose of what I do. I'm like, well, I don't. If I just do a subjective only review, then that's kind of like I'm not really interested in that. So
nope. You got to do what you got to do, man.
But it would be more fun just to jump on a live stream and just be like, all right, let's just go. Like,
oh man,
dude, let's roll it out.
My first live streams were crazy because people were just like, hey, I've got like I have this receiver, what speaker should I get, or vice versa. I have these speakers, and so I would just, okay, let's pull it up and just start going shopping on Amazon. I'm like, okay, well, on paper, I think this would match up, and and then we move on to the next question. Hey, what do you think about this TV? Oh, well, and then just kind of go on and on. Like I would get so parched because I'm just talking. It's just me. I was just talking for like 2 hours. I was like, oh, yeah, I think it's time to stop this. So I haven't done one of those in a while. So
I did one Saturday and it was fun.
Oh, cool.
Check out Ike's comment.
How I feel listening to you guys. LOL. Joe and Aaron equals PhD abstract algebra. Youthman equals college algebra. Easy, but everyone fails it as first time. Chana calculus 1.
Really? Why is making it sound like calculus is? I don't know. Is that supposed to be?
So calculus 2 kicked my butt. I'll just tell you right now. Calculus is supposed to be one of the easier ones, I think. And when I was in college, the funny part was this is no joke. We had some high school kids in there who were doing that dual enrollment thing, and there was 3 of them from a local high school, and they were like knocking it out of the park, like knew everything, getting straight A's. And I like befriended. No, they were like me but younger by like a couple years. They were not of any other descent. So, but it was funny. I'm like, man, I'm over here struggling, and these kids are just like killing it. So,
no, I had a similar on different levels with my calculus classes. There were some, Asian folks for like, they didn't really know how to speak English, but they were killing it on the math, killing it, like making it seem like, like it was nothing. And so that's when I'm like, you know what? Maybe I shouldn't do this engineer thing because these guys are whooping me.
Oh no, man! If I'd had that attitude, I'd have stopped.
But when it came to marketing, they needed my help because they didn't know how to speak English very well. I'm like, oh, maybe I'll just go this route. Business. Let's do business.
Yeah, I know. Somebody said some, like, no offense against HD TV Test and Vincent. He's really nice. The funniest thing is when we met, he first asked me, he's like, you're a techno dad, right? I'm like, yeah. He's like, what do you do? Do you buy all those 4K Blu-ray players? And I'm like, yeah. It's like, so what do you do to afford all this stuff? I'm like, I'm a DJ. And he's like, oh, okay. And I'm like, dude, your channel's like 3 times the size of mine. I'm sure you've got plenty of money to just buy the stuff. But
And knowing what we were talking about earlier before we jumped on, like those are all write-offs.
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't mean that he gets 100% of it back, which is a question I still have for my tax person, but he gets some percentage of it back, and then you can turn around and sell it, and I mean, at least break even. So
I know I'm looking at 3 of them over there. I got to get rid of that stuff. I don't need them anymore. Along with my Oppo 203, but that's going to go to one of my patrons.
Oh, okay, never mind. I was gonna say don't just get rid of that one because I would take that one, but never mind.
Yeah. Well,
I hear you.
You don't want it. You don't want it. The remote control doesn't work and all that.
Dude, mine on my 103 stopped working years ago, so I have to use the app.
Oh, okay. I don't use the app. I just use my what is it? The Harmony.
Oh,
Harmony remote. We got a super chat here from High Finest 343 499. Thank you so much. Thoughts on adding a 2-channel preamp into a dedicated home theater system for 2-channel hi-fi as well? Having trouble integrating subs into both. Thoughts? I already know. I already have a.
Yeah, I know you've done the home theater bypass on yours.
Yeah, right, yeah. So Parasound, the Parasound integrated. It's now. I had the 5, the 5th generation, but now it's the Hint 6, right? From Parasound. They do.
Yeah, that's the one I've got.
Yeah,
pretty awesome. Yeah.
So it does a theater bypass. So literally, it'll just use the amplifiers in your in the Hint 6 and bypass all the preamp section. So you can go RCA pre-outs to from your receiver into that. Now, yes, subwoofers are going to be a little bit different, right? So I would say you'd probably just have to like, double up with like a Y splitter or whatever, so you can do 2 or there is a left and a right RCA on the subwoofer, right? Can't one of them just go to the LFE to the sub and then one from the Hint 6 go to the right or the other RCA? But that should work, right? I mean,
saying one sub from the home theater, like your AVR, and then one from the Hint 6.
Yeah.
I'm just wondering like why you would want to do that, because then on the Hint 6 you wouldn't get the advantage of both subwoofers. You'd only have one working. If you're coming out of that,
it has two outputs.
Oh, I thought you were saying like the AVR to one sub and then the Hint 6 to another sub.
Oh, no. Both to both subs.
Okay, yeah.
Right?
Okay. Yeah.
I mean, that's what I would do if I had the chance. What is this? Private chat?
I don't really understand the question, to be honest.
So, and honestly, that might be a good follow-up on that. Are you saying that, I know sometimes when I listen to music, my subwoofer is a lot lower than the, like watching movies, but there's a setting, at least in the Marantz and Denons, that you can go in and you can bump up, say for instance, the level of the subwoofer when you're listening to 2-channel music. So I don't know if that's what you're referring to. So maybe give us some more information in the chat and we can try to answer that.
Yeah. 2-channel preamp into a dedicated home theater system. Yeah.
Yeah. Because again, he's just trying to figure out, he's like, I'm not getting the subwoofer maybe impact is the way I'm reading it when he's listening to 2-channel music versus when he's listening to home theater.
Well, he's saying specifically adding a 2-channel preamp.
Right.
Oh, preamp. Oh, I thought it was power amp. My bad.
No, like preamp
into a dedicated home theater. So I think 2-channel, a lot of guys like to put, maybe a tube preamp because they like what it does. Maybe that's what you're asking about. They have like some pretty expensive preamps.
Mm-hmm. Can be.
A lot of times tubes.
All right.
Not always though.
So HiFi says, I have the Michi P5 and dual SB16s from SPS. It's tough to get the system completely independent with pass-through.
Michi P5. Damn. All right, bro.
All right,
baller.
Let's see what that is first.
I had the Michi X3. That thing was awesome.
If I'm understanding, he kind of just wants to use a hi-fi preamp, but he wants to get good subwoofer integration.
Yeah.
Is that it?
I think that's kind of what he's going after.
Yeah.
All right, here it is. This is the top one. Obviously, the amplifier is the bottom one.
Mm-hmm.
So this is the P5 here. This is their shot of the back. Can we see the booty?
Yeah.
So is it like
these
it has a ton of I/O. Look at this.
Does that have DSP at all? Any sort of DSP?
No, it does not.
Yeah. Oh, okay. So High Finest says bingo. Yeah. Um, man, that's tough. That's a tough one because you want to use your preamp.
And I would think that would have a great preamp, 2-channel preamp in it.
And so somebody said here is the answer a mini DSP, and typically I would say yes, but the problem a lot of times is that the subwoofers have a delay, and the mini DSP can't add delay to the the speakers, the other speakers, right? It can only add delay to your subs, but what you actually want to do is you want to subtract delay. You can't do that. And so usually I recommend for folks to get, I don't think there's anything wrong with an AVR or a processor for 2-channel.
Right.
That's my opinion, right? And somebody can disagree with me, but
yeah,
I'm sure a lot of people will. But I don't see anything wrong with using a good AVR. And when you want to listen to 2-channel, listen to 2-channel, but you can still take advantage of, stereo or pure direct if you want to just do a pass through. If you want to hook up subs, then you still have your room correction and DSP stuff. So you I think it just does everything. And I wouldn't personally want to use something that was only a 2-channel setup unless I'm going to do a 2-channel setup with full range speakers, no subs, and just try to make it sound as good as possible that way. So
using positioning in the room and room treatments as opposed to DSP, right?
No DSP. If you just want to go all analog for whatever reason, some people want to just, maybe they have fun doing that.
Purists,
yeah, that's cool. That's just not me.
I thought that way too. Like when I had all those tower speakers and I was like, oh man, yeah, I don't need a subwoofer. And then all of a sudden Joe did his Magic Bean settings and I was just like, whoa, screw these towers. These subwoofers kick ass. And so I was just like, oh, I'll just get bookshelves. I don't need towers. I'll have Joe just, to the Magic Beans. And then all of a sudden it'll just be awesome. And really that, and somebody just commented, he said something about, I guess, Pioneer and Onkyo are now, in the automatic room correction thing. They're kicking the crap out of Denon. I was like, yeah, pretty much, unless you need the features of the Denon, like what do you call it, Oro 3D or whatever it is that you need. But then again, if you already have a Denon or Marantz, just hit up Joe and it'll sound better than that manual room calibration is going to sound better than all these automatic ones, if you know what you're doing. So I would say, hey man, you could ditch the P5 and just have Joe, get a nice little pre-pro and have Joe do something, and your 2-channel is going to sound amazing. Like the difference, like I was doing the thing, I had Joe on the phone and we were doing Odyssey's room calibration and then Joe's, and it was just on 2-channel music. Oh my gosh, it's like night and day difference, man. Like night and day difference. So
yeah. Hey, Michael, do you still have that bingo card from Croson?
I
don't know where that was, but he has a bingo card where basically, like, we try to hit all the points, right? We have to say oral once. We have to say binaural. There you go.
Yeah.
Oh, that's why I said bingo in the chat. I went left to across.
Yeah. So we were trying to hit them all. Magic Beans, check. I got a really good testimonial, by the way, from one of my clients who I did DSP for. So I don't want to say any names, but he has a very nice, let's say, extremely nice exotic car, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like Porsche's nice, but this is like, above that.
Next level
above that, right? And I was talking to him about his cars and we're talking about audio, and he's like, honestly, like the car is cool and all, but I'm really excited about this audio stuff and what you're doing with the DSP and the new subs. I'm like, oh man, that's a big compliment, right? We're talking about a car that's probably like 200 G's or more. So the fact that he's excited about the audio stuff, I mean, that's a big deal. Let's see here. What else?
Speaking of cars, guess what I got?
Nah.
They just sent a video of our car. Finally.
Who sends videos of cars?
Well, the guy messed up. The guy messed up.
What's his name? Aaron?
No, he was trying to sell us a green one came off the truck, and he's like, "Hey, your car's here." And this was 3 weeks ago. And then I looked at like the options and stuff. I'm like, "This isn't our car." I looked at the VIN number. I'm like, "Nope, not our car. Not our car. This one's our car." I'm like, "Make sure you get a picture of the VIN number for me."
That's funny.
So it's like this metallic green with this like gray interior, they call it. Yeah. So we're gonna go pick this guy up on the weekend here. I gotta tow my car down to LA. Woo! Giddy up. But yeah. Sweet. Anyway. That's that nonsense. How much so BoxCurp, if you go to Joe's website, you just sign up for a consultation. Depending on your system, it could take less or more time. And you also have to get a few things too before all that happens.
I was trying to type it out, but I just remembered that I don't think I can put links on here, but it's just joeandtell.com/booking, and you'll see all the different services on there. Yeah, of course, it's going to be different depending on how many speakers you have and how advanced you want to go. So, if you have a bunch of speakers and you want to, you have a bunch of subs and you want to use multi-sub optimizer where we have to measure each seat and each sub at each seat, it's just a lot of time.
And then if you wanted to also add in like mini DSP for multiple subs and all that kind of stuff, then that would take more time as well.
Yeah. By the way, Chana,
which I did not do. I did not do.
You need to get one of those.
Yes.
You need to get a mini DSP. Add that to your list of things. I know it's not the funnest thing to buy, but believe me, you know what? It just seems like I feel like when you try to do it using multi-QX, it just won't let you go too crazy. I feel like they're trying to protect you from messing up your subs or something, where the mini DSP just doesn't care. Like, blow them up if you want. So, yeah. What else? We can take calls too.
Oh yeah.
So let's see here. We can take calls, but before we do that, let me just kind of mention that we do have an audio-only version of this podcast, and you can listen to that at anchor.fm/daily HiFi. If you're commuting to work, you shouldn't be watching the YouTube video. Just listen on your favorite podcasting service. So there's that. And yeah, if you want to give us a call, we'd love to answer your questions. We'd love to hear from you.
Oh yeah. Oh, for the people asking, it's the car is an Audi S5 Sportback. That's what it is. I had a problem I have an Audi S4 from 2008 that just kind of, it didn't take a dump. It still drives. You just can't turn it. So
that's kind of a problem.
Yeah.
The power steering fluid hose that takes the fluid from the reservoir down to the rack and pinion steering is broken somewhere like on the side of the engine. And so they have to take the bumper out, take the engine out to assess the problem. Dealer wanted 6,000. Independent guy wanted 3,000 just to look at that. I was like, oh, well, I can do that. But then in 2 or 3 years, what's going to happen? What's going to break next to the engine where we have to do that again? So I'm just like, we've had it for 12 years. It's got like 74,000 miles on it. It's pretty low mileage. I'm like, yeah, let's trade it in. The dealer can fix it. Shoot for far
dealer
less.
Put their magic beans on it, resell it.
Exactly. They'll easily sell that thing for like high 20s.
Yeah.
Once they fix the problem. But.
Is yours a turbocharged one?
My one, the one that I have is a 4.2 liter V8 naturally aspirated 6-speed manual.
This other one that you're getting.
The new one is a V6 turbocharged because they're going away from all the high cylinder count vehicles.
All right.
For whatever, environmental reasons, Excuse me.
I was just going to say, a lot of times with those turbocharged ones, you could do a lot of magic beans with those.
Oh, yeah, you can.
You just take them to a place and immediately you have 100 horsepower
exactly.
more.
I think it's got like 350 horsepower already, 350 foot-pounds of torque. So it's pretty.
Yeah, you need some more for the snow, right? Yeah.
No, I need an Audi for the snow. Yeah, it's always.
No, I'm saying.
Do you know how many
are like 500 horses in
the snow? Oh yeah. Do you know how there's been times with like I would literally drive around town in my S4 sideways. Like it's so much fun. It was so much fun in winter. Yeah, like I'm just because like the snow would come and the snow plows haven't come, and that thing is so good. Like in the morning, because coming off a graveyard shift, it snowed all night. You know, 10 inches of snow on the ground. I got see all these ultimate driving machines stuck in the snow, and I just go sideways around them in my sedan.
BMW does have X-Drive also, okay?
Yeah, I know, and they get stuck in the snow. I've driven around them so many times, dude. Those Range Rovers, I mean, half of it is user error, but it's like these four or five big guys in this X3. They're like all like stuck, and they're like looking around, and I'm like, bye. But you know, yeah, Subarus, if you really are going to like snow stuff, you know, go driving around the snow, Subaru, Audi. Everything else is just won't compare.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what's up, guys? You guys gonna give us a call? 818-237-3030.
30,
I think we're set up. I think we tried it out, right, Shauna?
Yeah, we tested it out.
We tested it. Let's go. Give us a call. Ask us a question. Try to stump us. You know. Yeah. Say whatever you want.
I got a cool video coming out tomorrow, I think, and then I'm working on the Zapiti, the new Zapiti video. New Zapiti is awesome. I actually might buy one. Surprise, surprise, and give my. So here's what's interesting. Our teenager's got his first girlfriend, right? They're in love. This, then the other. He's 18. She's like 17 or whatever. And I'm like, so what do you guys do in your room all the time? He's like, oh, we watch movies. I'm like, really? Yeah, we watch movies and TV shows. I'm like, oh. So I moved the Zydu from our bedroom into his. So I'm like, okay, cool. Check it out. And now she's like, you have all of these movies? I'm like, yeah, they're all right here next door. And she's like, oh, this is great. So I'm stoked. I could stoke them out. They get to watch movies and stuff like that. And then I'm gonna get a Zapiti for the bedroom upstairs. But yeah, that's what they do. You know, watch movies and stuff.
Hey.
Zapiti.
There we go.
Joe's like, sure, they're watching movies.
There we go. Hello.
Hey, Joe, it's RGA.
Hey, what's up?
What
How you doing, man?
You guys?
Long time.
RGA.
It's been a while. I was down with COVID and been kind of doing my own thing. So,
all right.
I've been watching, just not real.
It's been a while.
Feeling better?
While I was sick.
Feeling better?
Much.
All right.
Much.
So what's up, man?
I'm pretty sure. Not much. I just wanted to call and add some entertainment value and have a laugh with you guys and remind the community that it doesn't matter what level you're at, you belong in this community.
You got it.
I disagree. I think that in order to be a part of this community, RGA, that you have to be at the highest of high levels, and you know how I feel, man.
You need to at least have higher than ProLogic 2. That's what
you got to have $13,000 seats. And but you got to have it. Did somebody already say Dolby ProLogic 2? Did somebody just say that?
I think
so. I hate you guys. I hate you, Chana. You're an asshole.
Bro. Oh my God. I love you, bro.
You call me Eric, and then you make fun of my Dolby.
Because there's somebody in the chat named Eric. And
who cares?
I was confused with the audio being slow.
RGA is here. You're not calling him Eric.
Okay. Hi, Eric. Thanks for calling.
Now I feel better.
You can call me anything you want to except late for supper.
All right. How are those Cerro in Vegas treating you, man?
Oh, pretty well. Pretty well.
How many pairs have you been through in the last 2 weeks?
Huh?
How many pairs have you been through in the last 2 weeks?
I'm not really moving stuff. I've just been kind of hanging out in the community, pointing people towards repair parts. And
oh, well, let me rephrase. What I meant was, like, how many have you blown in the last 2 weeks?
Oh, none.
Oh man, you're not doing it right if you're not blowing them, dude.
I got enough power to blow about anything I want to, but you know,
I'm saying, bro,
you keep your signal clean and you don't clip and you provide power and you rock out smart. You know, you ain't got to worry about that anymore.
He just called me dumb, y'all. But
it's more fun when you see the smoke. Oh, speaking of smoke rising, I smoked one of my.
Unlike Aaron.
Unlike Aaron.
You do any DSP stuff? I remember last time you were kind of.
I've got my mini DSP wired in that does time align and control my subs. I just don't get into a lot of information with it because it's so easy to get people down that rabbit hole. And I'm not much of a teacher. Like I started my own live stream and stuff, and it's just a BS session for normal people getting into the hobby to start to get comfortable. There are better teachers out there like Toad and DIY, and Youthman did that excellent tutorial on navigating the mini DSP.
Yeah.
And you got, guys like Aaron that have the scientific mind and the ability to recall it accurately. So
I
don't
gotta
know
say,
about
while
this
you're on the
accurately,
phone,
but yeah.
while you're on the phone, I tuned in one time and you said, that you were upset at us about something, and I was like, oh, I wonder what he was upset about. Something. I'm like, what did we do?
So sometimes I feel like you guys go a little dry. What drew me to you guys in the first place was the camaraderie, and I know you guys have gone through a few hosts and stuff, and I want to see you succeed. I think you guys are an excellent representation of a good cross section of the audio hobby, from guys like me that are extremists to people just coming into the hobby. And when you go dry, you kind of lose your identity.
What do you mean? What do you mean by that? Because I don't mind. I like to talk things out, right? So to me, it's not uncomfortable.
He's a talker, everyone.
Yeah, to me, a lot of people, they try to avoid too much stuff, right? So I heard that, I'm like, all right, you're here. So I'm kind of curious, like, what do you mean?
What's
like
the opinion?
dry? Because hey, there might be some truth to what you're saying, right?
Well, it's just my particular perception of things. I have a personality 3 sizes too big, and I'm an overthinker, and I'm a huge fan of you guys. I've been with you since basically the beginning.
I know.
And I've watched you guys advance, and I know you guys are reeling from like the out of the box manufacturer issues, the shipping issues, and everything like the rest of us. And I see you get caught up in that sometimes. And I know you hold back a little bit because of potential affiliations with companies, and you don't necessarily want to go down that negative path. And sometimes I'd like
I'll do that in a heartbeat.
I don't know about that. Like,
but whatever.
Like,
it all depends, I guess.
There's nothing I really have to hold back on. What do I have to hold back on?
It just seems like you try to steer away from the negative instead of saying what's on your mind. It's almost like I can read it on your face. It happens to me too. You're processing a thought.
Well, how about just say something specific then?
I can't call out names.
He's like,
no, I'm just saying, like, is it? I mean, my sponsors, I have Monolith as a sponsor. I have Audio Advice as a sponsor. Like, is there something specific that you thought I should have said, or I don't know if it's to me or to somebody else, but I'm pretty straightforward. When I say there's an issue, the measurement says there's an issue, and I don't know.
I just wonder if you're not thinking a little deeper when you're talking about something, and just kind of take that more positive route rather than saying what's on your mind. I mean, it's a facial thing. Like I said, this is just my perception.
Okay, I see what
I feel like if I was sitting at a table talking to you, you'd be a little looser than you are on camera. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, I mean, recently I've been writing stuff out to try to hit all my points, if that's what you mean. But sometimes it doesn't come through.
It just seems like you tighten up sometimes, Joe. I do it too. I think we all do it at points. One of those things that makes you wonder. I'm a chronic overthinker, so
yeah.
Hey, no, I get it. So I'll tell you straight up, right? So I'm a straight up guy, right? Straight up.
Yeah,
I've been writing stuff out because I have so much to do that sometimes if I just normally the way I make a video is I'll have bullet points and then I'll say what I want to say about these particular bullet points, right? But a lot of times I'll find like, oh, I didn't say that right. Oh, I mixed up my words, and I'll record that part over and over and over again, right?
You probably burn out doing that, don't you?
All right. So yeah. And so what I found is I have a teleprompter. I write out all the things so I can think about it, and I write it out. Yeah. I put it on the thing, and then I read it, right? So maybe that doesn't come off as like I don't know, as
like genuine or like
genuine, yeah.
I guess.
Yeah, and that's because that's a skill, right? Sense. So reading a teleprompter is a skill. Right now I'm using my hands.
Yeah.
If it said if I was reading, I'm just like So maybe that's it. But it's kind of like I just need to get some videos out quickly, and that's a way that I've done it. But it's we're always learning. We're always learning. So
I mean, I wouldn't say like I don't believe that like cables make a difference in like the sound, right? And yeah, Kimber Cable sent me this stuff, and I'm gonna like make a video, and but I'm gonna be like, yo, does it make your system sound cool? I don't know, but like if they look cool, that's pretty much it. That's why I like them. So it's
not the information. It's the delivery. I think Joe just hit it because maybe that's what I'm picking up on. Because you guys have always been I love.
Oh, I can tell when he started using a teleprompter. I could totally tell
Joe's delivery sometimes. And the teleprompter would explain it. It's like me when I'm sitting there reading the spec sheet. I get laser beam focused, and I lose all traces of personality when I'm focused. Maybe that's what's going on.
Yeah. No, I think it comes off a little too polished, maybe, where you're like, yeah, that's not how he talks, you know. And so that's for me. I understand that, and you know, that's why I like to have these kind of conversations, because you get to tell people this is what it is, right?
Yeah.
I've even had, I think it was Keeping Up with the Joneses, like he messaged me, he emailed me like, hey, is everything cool? You didn't seem like yourself today. And it was like, oh no, I can actually see you guys on this teleprompter here. And so I just like, the first time I got it, I was just like looking at it, you know, I'm like, oh, this looks weird. When I watched it back, I'm like, all staring at the thing. So anyway, yeah, I think it's a learning thing. It's a learning thing, and I think what I'm going to end up doing is just using the teleprompter to keep my notes. Yeah. So my bullet points will be there, so I don't have to look. Yeah. Normally, I have a phone or you know piece of paper that has all the points that I want to cover, because it's very easy to kind of just forget. You know, you make the video, and then later on you're like, hold up, I didn't cover this whole thing. What am I going to do? I got to reset up my lights, redo everything again. So,
no, I remember the teleprompter days, man. Like I tried doing that, and for me, it was like the damn teleprompter, like speed was always messing with it. It's either too fast or too slow for how I want to talk. And I'm like, I just trashed it. I'm like, this is just too aggravating.
Yeah, I can't do that. I tried my first few videos to use a teleprompter because I thought it would help, and it's so unnatural for me. But what I've switched to doing is like what I'll do. I'll use I'll get some graphics pulled up in PowerPoint, and then that kind of helps keep me on track. Because otherwise, I'll forget. I always leave a video, and then like 2 or 3 days later, somebody will say, "Well, what about this?" And I'm like, "Man, I thought about that, but I totally forgot to mention it." So that's the other thing. And then you're on limited time. Like if you could make a video an hour long and people wouldn't piss and moan about that, then you could just say everything you want. But then people are like, "Oh, too long, didn't watch." And I'm like, "Well, I hope you get hit in there with a shovel today." So.
Damn. Yeah, that might be why they don't watch, man. You know, it could be you.
It could be. I'm coming at him.
He's like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
There's always going to be somebody that complains. That's the hilarious.
Oh yeah, like the guy who's calling in right now.
No.
It's all love, man. I wouldn't say it if I didn't like you.
Shots fired.
Oh yeah. God. Oh my God! Yeah, I'm totally here to just attack the daily HiFi guys. I'm like your favorite troll. Come on.
We love you, RGA.
Always bring a smile to our face, man.
Yeah. So anyway, I think the whole point of this is just about communication, right?
Yeah, share what you feel, man.
If you say, hey, you know what, I don't like this, you got to let us know. Like, I don't like the way you're coming off on this video. Okay, cool. If enough people say that, like, oh, maybe they don't like the scripted thing. That's how problems get solved, man. So many people hide behind a freaking screen and don't go out to try and resolve issues anymore because they got that screen anonymity. Yeah. When I started doing my lives, I wanted that transparency that I learned from you guys. You guys inspire me. I hope that, in some way I'll be able to inspire you guys down the line, if nothing else, cause you to have a laugh.
Well, I think you just did.
Being able to talk that dry out with you, Joe, I hope that helps you succeed. I mean, I have always liked and respect you guys. So.
Well, and too, like, so now that you're doing videos, like, you understand the other side of it too. Like, and I wish that people that, not you in particular, but people who tend to leave negative comments in videos usually are just leave it and run, right? But there are people who don't try to do anything positive for the community. And it's like, if they could put themselves in our shoes or anybody else's shoes who is doing something that they're watching, they would understand how hard it is to, hit all the points that you want to hit and make everybody happy. There's always somebody, like you said, who is going to find something to complain about. But I don't know, man. That's the internet for you.
Situational awareness and information saturation when you're doing a video and trying to meet a timeline is exorbitantly difficult, especially if you do multiple takes like Joe was talking about. It's so easy to just completely miss the dartboard when you're trying to communicate something
for sure,
concisely as possible.
Exactly. So concise is the key word, right? Because you know, some of my videos, I may do the talking head part, and that may be 30 or 40 minutes, and I'm trying to condense that to 10 minutes.
Then you got to
So
edit
what
it
do I
all
have to
down.
cut out? What should I not say? What should I keep in? You know, there might be, you know, oversimplification where you make the video too short and you didn't get through all the details. So, you know, it's always one of those things where when you start doing it, you start realizing, man, this is tough. If we're just freestyling it and hanging out like we're doing, you may get some people like, these guys aren't talking about anything. Right? That's the other part, right? That's the other side is they ain't talking about anything. They're just hanging out. What's the point of this? So
yeah, that's my end of things right now is basically like a barroom BS session about audio and all things life related, because I got sick and tired of all the pre-programmed TV, commercialized, pushing agenda BS. I wanted to put people together to just talk.
Yeah.
You know, get outside that box of just regurgitated information. It's not like it's easy to have an original idea now. Not even, I can't remember the last time Hollywood had an original thought.
Everything's just a remake. Everything's a remake, a reboot. Like how many, like there is that, did you ever read that book, The Hero with 1,000 Faces? Right. It's about it's about how like there's really only 7 plots. And then every movie is a derivative of those 7 plots. And like what's his name, Lucas, like read that a lot, and that's like the whole Star Wars, you know, what episode 4, 5, 6 follows that whole train of the hero in that Hero with 1,000 Faces. So yeah, they don't, it's hard to get something original these days, which sucks.
My wife and I last night, my wife gobsmacked me. One of my favorite movies.
Congratulations, man.
My younger days was Pete's Dragon. You guys ever seen that movie?
Yes, the original one, right? Yeah, I love that one.
Yeah, the original. My wife showed me they did a remake in 2016, and I was like, seriously?
Yeah. I liked it. I liked the remake. It was okay, but I mean, to me, plus I think a lot of nostalgia plays into that stuff, right? Like if I showed my kid the original, she would probably not like that one as much as she liked the more recent one. Mm-hmm. So there's a lot of that recency, or I guess unrecency bias, nostalgia bias.
Sure. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. I definitely look back more fondly on days gone by than I should, and I think we all do.
Yeah, I know I do.
Happier things than you do the crap.
Yeah, man. Well, you just gotta try to appreciate everything, right? Old, new, current, past. So I appreciate you calling, by the way.
Yeah, brother. Hey, you said you were an overthinker, right?
Oh, constantly. My mind never shuts up.
Do you know Alan Watts?
Yes, I'm familiar with him. I'm familiar with
all right. So there's a song called Overthinker by this Closey remix. I'm gonna drop it in the chat here, the link to it. This is for you. It says RGA, check this out. Okay. So check it out when you get some time. Fantastic track. Anyway.
We'll do, man. We'll do.
Right on.
All righty.
I'm gonna leave some space for someone else to jump in.
Yeah.
I want to again express appreciation, and I love the transparency and the ability to communicate with you, Joe. And
thanks, man.
You guys, keep being awesome. I'm here in your corner.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Always have been, man.
Good seeing you, man. Support. We'll see you on the live streams.
Yeah, take it
holla,
easy.
Holla.
Cool, man. We've got a handful.
Yeah, I'm bringing it up right now.
Right,
Martin asks, any difference buying a 7 by 100 watt amp versus a 7 by 300 watt amp if the speakers only ever draw a max of 40 watts at a very near ear blowing level? Mind.
I answered that in the chat. My answer was basically no, and that's the easiest answer.
Hello.
Yeah, I mean, 40 watts is enough. Then there's no need to go up to 300. I mean,
it's not at all. It's kind of cool to have.
I mean, there's a long answer to that, but that's the short answer is no.
All right. Hello.
Hello, how you doing?
Hey, who's this?
What's going on?
My name's Richard.
What's up,
Richard?
Hey, how you doing?
Doing good, man. What's going on?
Hi, guys. I'd just like to say, first of all, I love all of what you do. I think you all bring something different to the table, and I enjoy looking at all of y'all.
Appreciate it.
Oh, thank you so much.
Thank you, man.
Thank you.
Now, the question I have is, if you have an Emotiva or Outlaw amp, money, no object, which one would you buy and why?
Outlaw. Sorry. Was,
Yeah,
was that a little too fast there?
I think both of them make great amplifiers.
1 minute, man.
Now, if you would have said processors, I'd probably have a different answer. But they're, I mean, I haven't experienced the Outlaws, but I know a lot of guys that rock those, and they're solid, great build quality. Emotiva, for the most part, their amps are pretty solid. So,
yeah,
I
don't like the way they rate their amplifier power output. It's very confusing on some of the Emotiva ones.
Oh, Emotiva. Okay.
Yeah.
Is that
they
also
also do
their
this
lower series, the basics, or
their basics?
XPA.
No, the XPA seems pretty straightforward, right?
Yeah,
But the basics ones, they're 4 ohm measurement or rating of the output is just.
Hey, Richard, which kind of what are you looking at? Are you
what models are you looking at?
Well, I already own 2 Outlaw amps. I own the old one, a 7125, and then a 5000.
Okay, I'll look up the 5000.
I've had them now for a few years.
Yeah, I've had the 5000. It's pretty solid.
Is that a 5-channel?
Yeah,
it's a 5-channel. I have 5-channel. Oh, the other one is a 7-channel. It's a small 7-channel.
Okay.
It's like 90 watts a channel.
So the Outlaw 5000 is a 5 by 120 watts.
Yeah. 8 ohm. Yeah,
about $800.
So that Outlaw, I haven't reviewed both of them, but the Outlaw I believe is the same thing as the OSD audio one 5-channel. I think they're the same.
Pretty much the same, right?
You open them up and they're the same internals, and I'm still using it. I'm happy with that thing. So I can't speak about which one is better. I don't. Maybe is the Emotiva.
I mean,
I don't know.
It really boils down to like, will you hear a difference, right? And when you're talking about hearing an audible difference, like 3 dB is like the standard of like, okay, we noticed that is louder. But to get that 3 dB boost, you have to double the power. So if you're looking at 2 amplifiers that are roughly outputting the same amount of wattage, just get the one that you can afford and call it a day. Like, I don't think
the one with the least issues too, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, they're amplifiers. It's not like there's like moving parts, you know.
I've seen some people have issues with their amps.
With whose?
Really?
With Outlaws? Or
like sometimes like the amp, like one channel,
some with OSD, some with Monolith. You know, I've heard
somebody in the chat mentioned that they think ATI made the Outlaw, and for some reason, I don't keep up with amps like I used to a few years ago, but for some reason, I thought that was the case too. So somebody might want to double check.
I know ATI makes the Monolith.
They do the Monolith.
I don't know about the Outlaw.
Yeah, the Monolith for sure.
Yeah.
I remember hearing from somebody. It was like, I don't know. I want to say like Evergreen, something like that. But yeah, I'm not too sure.
I think honestly, I mean, my opinion, the XPA series is a very solid series. The basics in the Emotiva, I mean, it's just super budget friendly. You know, I didn't hear any issues with it, but it's definitely not the highest build quality, you know, so I don't know longevity, how long those would last. But I think if you're comparing like the XPA 5-channel amplifier versus the 5-channel Outlaw audio, you're probably going to spend less, I'm assuming, on the Outlaw audio. Is that correct?
What's the price difference?
So the 5000 is
cheaper,
$769, and the Emotiva XPA 5 is going to be, I think it's going to be more. Yeah, Gen 3. Yeah, you're looking at 1800.
Whoa.
Yeah. So there's a big difference there. So I'm with Chana. Go for that Outlaw, baby.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
check the warranty on the Outlaw too, because that may, like, I know Emotiva has always had from what I understand, they've always had good warranty. So you may want to verify that Outlaw is the same hemisphere at least.
Warranty.
That's a good point.
Oh, here we go. Return policy, warranty. Warranty on the Outlaw is 3 years, parts and labor on preamp and process. So power amplifiers is 5 years. So it's a solid.
Yeah, that's good.
5 years, parts and labor.
And there are some reviews out, some old written reviews of the Outlaw that go in depth and they do the measurements and all that.
Right.
And so far it looks good, you know? So I think it's a good deal for the Outlaw. You know, it kind of has my vote just by default, even though I haven't tried the other one.
That's a youth man deal right there, man. Sounds
it's just a good deal.
Yeah. Does that help, Richard?
Yes, it helps a lot.
Yeah. We just saved you some money, I think.
A little bit.
Like I said, I previously purchased the Outlaw, and I've been happy with it.
Yeah.
All right. Oh, okay.
Yeah. And here's my take on amplifiers. I have owned quite a few amplifiers over the years, and although I haven't like done an exact A/B real quickly between the two or between three of them, I've never uninstalled one, put a new one in, and went, holy cow, this is what I've been missing. Never once have done that. So I don't think chasing the amplifier is going to, really make that huge of a difference sonically for you. I'd much rather say, okay, if your subwoofer is kind of weak, put some money in that, man. You'll get a lot more impact, a lot more return on your investment than upgrading your amplifier to maybe 80 more watts a channel or something like that.
I'm with Michael on that one. Invest in the subs, because what we were talking about last time, our most viewed video from last week was, how much power do you really need?
Right.
And what we found out, or what I found out, was in my system, because the speakers are crossed over at 80 hertz, I wasn't using all the power. I have maybe 2,500 watts of power total.
Right.
And I'm not getting close to that amount. But when it comes to the subs, those are the things that really need all the power. So, if you're thinking about, investing all your money into the amplifiers, maybe you can consider instead spending more on the subwoofers that are really going to need that power.
The subwoofers, I think, like your subwoofer is going to be a more noticeable upgrade as well, right? Unless you're like me and you sit like 14 feet away, then an amplifier for your front stage would be a good addition.
Yeah. Hopefully that helps.
It does. It does. Thank you, gentlemen.
All right.
Hey, no problem, man.
Richard, thanks for coming on in, buddy.
Thank you.
Have a good one, man.
Take care.
All right, man. Bye-bye.
Keeping up with the Joneses, what's up? You just messaged me. I guess you try to call. I don't know. Try to call now.
Chani, you want to go through those other three?
Oh yeah.
Here it calls.
Hello.
Hey, what's going on, fellas?
What's up? Who's this?
This is Ron, man, boy genius. What's going on?
Oh, what's up?
No. Hang up the phone, man. Hang it up.
What's going on, man? How are you?
I'm good, man. I'm good. Hey, I wanted to ask you guys a question, or at least your opinion. I noted in there that I was going to be leaving the Denim and Ranch family.
Mm-hmm.
I've had 3 Denims, so I think I'm going to be moving Anthem.
Okay.
I'm going to miss that on-screen display. It's probably going to be the biggest thing.
That is, dude.
But I wanted to
their
ask,
info info is just so good, so good. The Anthem is I don't know if they change anything for the 40 series, but the 20 series, there's like literally nothing. Literally, it tells you like if you hit info and scroll through, it's just like it'll tell you the input, it'll tell you what codec it is, and then I think you get an IP address too. Like, why do I need that? Can you give me some more?
Yeah, my son just told me, he said, "Well, Dad, can I sell my laptop?" I said, "Wait a minute, you got a laptop? You want to sell it? Don't sell it. Don't sell it. I need that thing." I said, I'll give you, a little bit of money for it,
Nice.
so he wouldn't lose out not selling it. But what I was thinking about is I have a mini DSP hooked up, and I have my I have a dual RS1 captivator.
Yeah.
So I have my mini DSP set up pretty good, right?
Yeah.
So I do use in Odyssey the Odyssey EQ, where it has the 0 dB, the 5, 10, 15 dB. You know how you can change it to get kind of more bass.
Mm-hmm.
So it's normally set to 0 for movies. And then occasionally I put it on 15 if I'm listening to music. It's a little less there.
Yeah,
but
sure.
My mini DSP curve, my room curve that I have on my mini DSP, I'm not really sure how I'm gonna get that over to an Anthem product. If I'm doing that, I don't know how I'm gonna kind of get that. I wanted to ask Joe or maybe Aaron if you knew what is the base dB boost when I'm doing that. And say if I'm gonna modify a curve above what's already set in my mini DSP if I'm going to Anthem. So is it like a 3 dB boost on that 0, or the 15 is like maybe 1 dB boost? So I'm gonna try to have to kind of match that boost that I'm getting from the Anthem, from the Denon product.
Can I ask why you want to move to an Anthem product from a Denon or Marantz product?
I'm going pre-pro. I'm getting.
Okay.
I have a Monolith 7 on my. I have an older Denon 6200.
Mhm.
Great.
Cool.
You know, so I'm going, you know, to a pre-pro, and it's probably going to be the AVM 70. So I'm going to get another 5-channel amp for my Atmos speakers and everything. So I just want that little bit of fidelity. I think it's time for me to move a little bit of fidelity. I know I can move a little bit better from the Denon 6200 to something else, like a newer Denon probably. I probably could do that. But this 6200 doesn't have the multi EQ X. You can't get it for that one, nor can you get the app.
Sure.
Oh, okay.
That 1 year below it. So I was like, if I'm gonna move up, I might as well move here because I'm headed towards processor territory anyway. I've already had a 7-channel in there.
Try something new.
So all I need is a smaller one for the Atmos. So it's like I'm moving towards like a little bit of future proofing. So that's kind of why I'm moving that way.
And you'll have 15 channels or something,
then
right?
It doesn't make then it doesn't make a processor, and Marantz just won't fit in my cabinet.
Aha, there's the other physical requirements, right?
Interesting.
It's a little too tall, probably about a half inch, maybe even a quarter inch too tall.
Right. Yeah.
Really? Is it the 7706 or the 8805 you were looking at?
I think the 7706 is taller. I think they're both too tall.
Yeah, that's what I've got.
I'm looking at it now. I'm like, that's not that tall.
Rants.
I don't know.
It's over, I think, 7 1/4. I don't think it's gonna fit where I need it to.
Oh, okay.
It's taller, a lot taller than the Denon 6200 or the.
I actually, you know, if and when you do get your Anthem, try running Arc Genesis with your sub without the mini DSP and see how that sounds, because my subwoofers were pretty awesome.
Say that.
What's up?
I know. I hated you say that because I was like, no, my mini DSP. I took so many hours learning it.
Well, I mean, even if you don't, like, you can just disable all the stuff for the subwoofer in the Anthem and then just run your DSP. You just plug it back in. It should be the same, right, Joe? Relatively.
I've never messed with the Anthem thing. So
it's not quite. I've asked a question to a couple of guys who have it already, and they said you have to set your boundaries to 250 hertz, low and high, for it not to really mess with anything lower than, you know, a certain frequency when it's doing its calculation. So you gotta kind of make it do it. It's not an automatic thing. It's gonna mess with your mini DSP settings unless you set it to like the curtains like right up against each other. You know what I'm saying? If that's clear.
Yeah,
your
I think
lower curtain and your upper curtain, you got to kind of keep it right there so it doesn't bother your settings. So I was trying to find out what that bass boost is if I'm using that Odyssey EQ curve that sets at 0 dB or 10 or 5. So when I get in there and I'm trying to add a little bit boost, you know, a little bit more boost, because I'm thinking right now it's going to be thin when I add it, because I don't have that. I know it's going to be thin.
I guess I'm not understanding, because dB is dB regardless of which one you use, right?
Yeah.
So if you add 10 dB on the Denon, if you add 10 dB, are you asking like where does it hinge? Like where does that curve start?
Yeah. I'm trying to.
Are you using bass boost? Are you using bass boost, or are you upping the level of the subwoofer?
No, I'm using the Odyssey default curve. I think it's an Odyssey EQ, where for movies it's 0 dB.
Oh, you're talking about dynamic. You're talking about the dynamic EQ.
Thank you. Yes.
Oh,
I wasn't sure what he was talking about either.
I see.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
So you're saying
I'm trying to get back to that level when I use the Anthem, because I don't think it has anything like that built in. So now I'm gonna have to take that curve and bump it somewhere to where I'm getting the same.
So there's that curve always changes though. So that's the thing that you can't. There's no curve because it depends on.
It's a dynamic.
Yes.
Yeah. So one thing that's nice about the Anthem is they do have, at least the one that I reviewed, the MRX 1120, which it uses the same thing, but it's actually a newer version of ARC. You can set a couple presets in there, kind of like your mini DSP. And so you can easily switch between those and load those. And so, you know, if you were wanting that extra boost, you could have, but I think going back to your question, you're trying to figure out like, what is that amount that you'll need to boost?
Yeah.
And it might be one of those things where you're just going to have to change that curve in the mini DSP and listen and just kind of by ear, just go, okay, I like that. And then save that as a preset.
I don't really like that. I don't like the dynamic stuff personally. I don't use it. I always have them
that's
off.
what he prefers, though. That's about the only way you're going to be able to do it.
I guess what I'm saying is, I think a lot of times what I've found is people who like to use that, if you EQ your system with enough bass to begin with, right? So you're happy with it. I find that a lot of times you don't want to mess with that, right? It ends up like putting too much or, you know, messing with it too much. Typically adding too much bass and doing some weird stuff with the treble and the surrounds too, that I don't like. So I think it's more about getting it tuned properly at your normal listening level. The thing that I don't like about it is because when I turn down a system, I expect the bass to go down, right? And instead of the bass going down, kind of turn it up so it's kind of keeping everything level. I'm like, no, I know what happens when I press the volume down. I don't want that to happen.
Yeah.
You know?
See, Joe lives dangerously.
Change is my middle name. You say that because like now when I'm using it, my bass is like at -8. You know, so it's almost turned all the way down. So yeah, I got a lot of headroom on those RS ones to really kick it up if I really need it.
Well, it sounds like you're compensating for what it's already doing, right? So it's adding bass, and you're saying you're taking it out. You're negative.
Yeah.
Right. So it's almost like, what if you had it at the right level to begin with and turn that off?
I hadn't tried it. You're right. So I should try it with what I have right now and just kind of kick up the bass and kind of get it right back where those levels are. And let's do it that way. So yeah, it defaults there, and I use it. I never use it for music. I turn it off for music because that's really too much. But for movies, I let it rip.
So what I found with Odyssey is that by default they typically take out too much bass. Right? By default, the auto calibration will take out the bass that your room adds. And so to add it back in, and that could be 9 or 10 decibels, a lot, right? So if you have no EQ, let's say you have some huge speakers in the center, you know, in your room, and you played them full range, you'd get a bass rise. And if that bass rise was 9 decibels up or 10 decibels up, Odyssey would take it out. And most people don't like that. So try it out, you know, turn up your subs, you know, 6 dB up, 9 dB up. I mean, it looks crazy, but listen and see if you like it. And turn the auto the dynamic EQ off. What's the other one? Dynamic volume.
Yeah, definitely don't use that.
I don't have that on. On. I just have that dynamic EQ, which you know, like you said, when you're playing movies, it makes everything rattle. But like you said, being the subs on -8, I probably can get it right back to where it is. It's going to like -3 or something.
Yeah.
Subs, so I really never played with it.
Yeah, mess with that and then email us and let us know what you find. Give us a follow-up or call in next week.
No problem.
Thanks.
No problem.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, for
hey,
sure.
no problem.
Have a go, man.
Hey man, y'all take it easy.
Hey, take care.
Take care.
We got
Aaron,
some super chats.
I thought the same thing, Aaron. I was like, somebody's compensating.
You giggled, and you like at the exact same time I did. I was like, all right.
I was like, that's what Joe. I was going to ask Joe. I'm like, Joe, did you really ask Ron if he was compensating for something?
Yeah.
Compensate.
My favorite part was when Ron said, "You're absolutely right, Joe." I was like, "Great, here we go." Joe's gonna get the big head. He's not gonna be able to go out his front door today.
Yeah.
That's funny.
No. He never leaves his house. That's his head's already too big.
I dressed up to stay home.
Thank you so much, Jonathan Rowe, for the $5 super chat. I have a small room, but want a projector. Will a transparent screen work with a UST in a light-controlled room?
Unfortunately, I haven't seen a UST projector like a. He's talking about a ambient light rejection. I think maybe like an ALR. Typically, is what you're going to use.
Or is he talking about an acoustically transparent screen?
Wants an acoustic transparent screen,
right?
Which
but typically,
will work.
What I'm saying, typically your UST ultra short throw is going to be an ambient light rejection screen because you know they just the way that a light hits that. If you think about it, the ultra short throw is at a really steep angle because usually it's really close to the screen, like 7 inches. So it's hitting that screen at a pretty steep angle. So if you don't have an ambient light rejection screen, you know, in my brain, I'm thinking angle of incidence equals angle of reflection. So it's the light is actually bouncing up and hitting mostly your ceiling instead of bouncing back to you. So I just don't know of one that they make that's acoustic transparent that's designed for ultra short throw projectors.
Yeah, no, that's right. So to answer the question, it will work. So, you know, it'll work. But like Michael's saying, because the angle is so steep that you're going to bounce the light right off, you know, you're going to get some bleed for sure on the ceiling.
Yeah,
I've tried it.
A lot of bleed.
I've tried it on mine. So I have an acoustic transparent screen and it works. Like you can still see it. You can see it. It's not optimal though, right? So UST, you're going to want to pair with a CLR, ceiling light rejection screen. And yeah, I mean, that's the best combination, but you probably want to put speakers behind it, in which case you have to kind of trade off somewhere. Either you're going to have to get a normal projector and like mount it on the ceiling, use an acoustic transparent screen, or you're going to have to use an ultra short throw, but no acoustic transparent screen. Or you can use it the way that you're describing and have to kind of deal with the consequences. So hopefully that helps. We have another super chat. Did we get to Chris's?
Chris's?
I answered it in the chat. Yeah. So yeah, he was just asking, am I going to do maybe some testing of different acoustically transparent materials? And I don't know, Michael, if you guys remember, it's been a few months now, but I actually asked you like, who are the main acoustically transparent screen makers? And you guys gave me a couple.
Sure.
And those are the ones that I could think of. Yeah.
Seymour makes them. Probably Screen Innovations. I'm assuming they probably have some.
Yeah. Stewart.
Yeah.
Even Elite Screens. I believe they've got some acoustic transparent. So they're definitely.
I think what I'm going to do is reach out to like maybe 4 or 5 different of the popular ones.
Yeah.
And then maybe try to do some kind of testing with just like a speaker behind it, you know, and then kind of compare. Because to me, I'm actually more. I've seen where people have done the comparisons and they just measure the microphone like right in front of the speaker with the screen in between it. But I'm really more curious to see what happens as you go to the side. I think that's going to be the real change there. So, but yeah, that was the answer.
Coolio,
interesting. Do you guys know what this is? ULF bass? You know what that's?
Ultra low frequency.
Low frequency. So would you rather have like more output or digging really deep?
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, that's easy.
I mean, it really.
I want both.
It depends.
Well, that's the thing. If you've got the ULF, you're probably got a ton of output in the mid bass frequencies as well.
Yeah, I mean, unless because there are some people who have dedicated large woofers for like just 20 hertz and
sub
below.
bass.
I got
you know,
right?
Yeah. Like I've seen people run rotary subwoofers, which is a
what's
rotary?
That's a tough word to say. Yeah, that's exactly what they look like.
Yeah,
they just
like
displace air.
Engine.
Yeah, it's crazy, man.
Yeah.
Super inefficient.
Yeah.
But anyway, so but yeah, I think you're right, Michael. If you have the lower end, then you've got in between as well.
Yeah.
But it's really more about, you know, I think at least having multiples and staggering them out throughout the room, right? So you can kind of fill in and get smooth bass all over instead of just one spot.
Oh, dude, I didn't even tell you guys. Like, was it Friday or Saturday? It's Friday, right? I'm DJing at my spot, right? And you know, deck is huge, right? So I have like I got 4 speakers, and I went to go get a drink at the bar, and I have another speaker that I cable up. It's like 100 feet away from me at the bar, like on the other side of the bar. And I was right in the spot, like where everything like meets up perfectly. And I was just like, oh, there's this big bass hit coming. And it was just like, I was just standing there, I'm like, oh, I get to be like the audience, right? And all of a sudden it comes in, it goes boom right through my chest. I'm like, yeah, everybody felt that shit. Like it was so good. I was pretty excited. I was just like, oh my God, this is so cool.
So I wasn't sure where you're going to go with that.
Oh yeah.
I thought you were going to say that like you were in a null and you're expecting
never know what
nothing happened.
No,
so
it was so good. It just like went right through my chest. Boom. I was just like, oh yeah. Everybody on the deck is just feeling the bass. So it's fantastic. So
that's awesome.
Get down.
I did my job. there's one guy who runs for like live stuff. Is that the phone call?
That is a phone
Yeah.
call.
All right, let's get it.
Yeah. Oh, there it goes.
Hello, Carla. What's your name? Where you from?
No, no.
Hey, Carla?
Carla.
Missed it.
Carla. What's up, Carla?
Holla, holla, Carla.
I scared him off.
On the air, caller number 9.
Oh.
Nobody's there. Hello?
Yeah, that's good.
Guess they hung up.
It's okay. I mean, it's 5:30 almost, so
Yes.
probably.
7:30.
But this one guy sets up
8:30.
18s for like really low, and then like 12 and or 15s for the regular bass, and then 10-inch tops for like line arrays for like these big gigs that are set up here in town. So, you know, it's just all in how you do it. Oh,
last time we was gonna get a call, and this time all right, let's just go. Let's go. Hello.
Hey, how's it going?
How you doing? Who's this?
This is Josh.
What's up, Josh?
Hey, Josh.
How are you?
Yeah, I just have a little bit of a curveball question for you guys. So, I mainly use my home theater for gaming.
Okay.
Yeah.
I also use it for movies and stuff, 4K Blu-rays.
Yep.
My question is, with HDMI 2.1, there seems to be a big problem with it at the moment with the chipset.
Mm-hmm.
Do you guys have any recommendations for a receiver?
Yeah. Pioneer LX505.
The what?
The Pioneer LX505. It's about $1,500, and you'll get 3 40 gigabit per second bandwidth HDMI 2.1 inputs.
Okay, and question about that. Does that have pre-outs?
Yes, 11 channels of pre-out, so you can run 7.1.4, and it has Direct Live also.
Wow.
As direct live. So with the rack, then do I need to have a laptop and a mic for that, or?
It comes with a mic, and you can do the phone. Joe just did a video on the phone app. I did the laptop because I have a nicer mic that I can use with my laptop. So that all depends. Actually, I'm doing that here in my studio. I'm doing 11 channels with like all the speakers right at ear level, well, the ear level speakers are gonna be right around me. Like, dude, and you know, I was telling Joe about this too. Like, you know, Dolby Atmos in movies, it all depends on the mix. But in these video games, man, I'm playing Call of Duty multiplayer, and just the shit is popping off all over the place. They had fantastic experience with Dolby Atmos because there's nobody to mix it, right? The sounds are all happening. Let's say sound happening above you. It's happening above you, right?
Yep, it's live.
So yeah, so you don't have that thing. Like the AVR just figures out, okay, well, the player is here facing this direction and the head's looking up. You know, you're gonna hear stuff you know, in the right spot. So like
in the physics engine.
Yeah, that's it.
Sounds fancy.
Yeah. So
a lot of people are saying you need Atmos, and I'm like, well, if I'm gonna get it, I'm gonna get it. So I got everything else bought. I have all the speakers, I have the amp, I have all the cables. I just need the receiver.
Yeah. So somebody just commented on because I have it. He said that he had an issue where like it just wouldn't turn on after like a month. So I don't know if that's just a random fluke. Mine's been okay. I mean, it works. I think you're going to have a better experience as far as like longevity is concerned with maybe a Denon or Marantz product. But I think
there's the 3700H.
Yeah.
That only has one 2.1 port.
Yes.
Question about that. So could I swap out the HDMI board on those?
No. It's already done. Literally, it's fixed. Those guys are the Denon Marantz is just one. The newer ones are going to probably come out with 3 that are 40 gigabit per second bandwidth. But as far as having multiple HDMI 2.1s that will run everything like your 4K 120, VRR, HDR, and it also, I don't know what display you're using, but it does support Dolby Vision gaming as well. The Pioneer, or the Pioneer. Okay. So you're good on
I
it.
have Dolby Vision. So
okay, cool.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, yeah. And I guess one last question. Separates. Do you really think it'll make that much of a difference?
I haven't tried it yet. I can't wait to get this Marantz up and running in the living room. I got to move the Pioneer down into the studio and take the Marantz upstairs, and then give Joe my Denon. So
I've only done one test like back to back, and with a Marantz, what was it? The SR 8015 versus the AV 7706. And me and a friend of mine, we didn't think we were going to hear a difference using the pre-out mode or preamp mode in the SR 8015, because in my brain I'm thinking they made it to kind of be like a pre-pro. We didn't experience that. Now, could that have been Odyssey kind of calibrating two different ways? Possibly. So I can't 100% say that, okay, it was the pre-pro that made that difference. I just know that our ears absolutely heard a difference in the pre-pro versus the SR 8015. And I caught a bunch of flack from that because they're like, well, Gene measured the the preamps on the SR 8015. I'm like, I can't tell you what they measure. I can tell you.
God, who cares what Gene says? Gene, you're a fool.
I'm just saying.
I love you, Gene. Just kidding.
Yeah.
Not really.
But the reality is not everything that you can measure can your ears hear.
Well,
so I don't know that.
It's a person by person basis on that,
Well,
you know.
I think Michael, you nailed it though. You nailed it though, is that because you had to run Odyssey on both,
correct.
There could be whatever that does that's different could be a huge, way more difference than can possibly that I think would happen, you know, just from
so
a measurement standpoint.
I can't guarantee that if you go to separates, you're going to be like, oh my gosh, this was amazing.
I don't know that religious experience.
Yeah,
you can't say that, right?
Yeah,
I think if you have speakers that are like kind of just generally hard to drive, then yeah, a separate amplifier probably makes more sense.
Sure. Well, how about this though? If your AVR already has pre-outs and you're using power amplification, do you expect to see a huge difference going to a dedicated pre-pro where it doesn't have any amplifiers built in? You know, we had the Yamaha guy here, and he was kind of saying, well, you know, we have a dedicated, you know, power supply that runs all of this, and so it's a cleaner thing.
Yeah.
Like maybe I would think like possibly like in signal to noise, that's probably where I would expect the difference to be made. But if your speakers are like average sensitivity, or if you're sitting really close, then it probably doesn't. Well, unless you're sitting really close.
Yeah, I can see that. So
personally speaking, though, if I had the money, I'm going to run separates just because. And I can't give you a good reason for it. I just tell you that's what I prefer, and that's what I'm using now.
Yeah.
I don't know too many people that have gone to separates that have gone back to an AVR.
Right. Yeah. So Tristan says separates made a difference for me. Marantz 7706 and Monolith 11X.
Great
got
combo.
your back, youth man.
Yeah.
I have used the Monolith with the Denon 6500 and didn't have the separation and panning the Marantz Pre-Pro gave me. So there's
cool. The sticky part that I'm on is I'm on like around a $2,000 budget.
Okay.
For the receiver or sniffer.
Sure.
I do have a BassX A4 for the Atmos speakers.
Okay.
Power those. So yeah.
So you're talking. So
you need to get an amp
for a processor and an amplifier.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's either
that's gonna be tough.
Another like a 7-channel amp.
Yeah.
With a processor, or just get one receiver that would do.
I think
that's a tough call.
I think Emotiva is probably going to be the only
cheapest route.
Yeah, I think they just came out with a Emotiva.
The
I think it's a basics processor.
Yeah. Oh, the processor.
Yeah, here it is right here.
An inexpensive one that's like $1,200 or something.
Yes.
Like that?
PT1. No, that's a stereo.
Try that. I would like to try that because that's such a good deal.
Yeah.
The EQ software on that sucks, though. I heard it wasn't the best.
Well, yeah.
That's
here's the thing: you're paying $1,000 compared to $2,000 or $2,400.
Actually, it's the Marantz Pre-Pro. The 7706 is $3,000.
Okay,
so
but so you can get about $2,500 on up. So you're talking an extra $1,500. Well, most of those other higher end processors are going to have, direct. They're going to have some other type of processing.
Yeah.
So they have to cut corners. So by using their own in-house
Room
what is it called?
correction.
EmoQ. I didn't even know they still had it. So that's pretty wild to me. I remember I had it a long time ago in the RMC one. It was garbage, like pretty bad. But again, they may have, I mean, that was 15 years ago almost. So a lot has hopefully changed in that. But I would say you're looking at the Basics MC1. It's a 13 channel processor. Supports Dolby Atmos, DTSX. But again, like you said, they've got probably their own room correction. Tone Winner. I'm not familiar with Tone Winner, but I think somebody mentioned that they have a very affordable processor.
Emotiva MC1 is $9.99 with 13 channels.
Correct.
Yep.
So that would be an option. Tone Winner processor.
Or the other thing is just wait and save up.
So $1,400
for those other things.
So $1,400. There is a Tone Winner A300.
That's a 16 channel, right? Or
16 channel pre-pro, $1,400. So more than likely, that's going to be your two options if you're wanting to try to get in the budget of $2,000 for a processor and another amplifier to power the rest of your speakers.
Or you can go my idea and just throw more money at it.
You could.
I would honestly, if you want to go like the pre-pro route, I would say save up. I would, maybe in the next 6 to 8 months, get that 7-channel amplifier and
because you
prepare.
can always use that. That's true.
Right. And prepare for it. Right. And then that way you'll have it. And then when it's time to step up to the pre-pro, then you can do it. You can you don't have to get everything at once. A lot of people are like, oh man, you got this amazing system. And this shit's taken fucking years to get this thing to go. Together.
That's what I'm doing. I've been buying little bit by little bit, so it's not a big hit at once.
Enjoy the journey, man. It's a process. Don't worry about the end result.
It's fun.
Yeah.
It's a fun process, though.
Yeah, it is. It should be.
Yeah, I realized after looking into it a little bit, there's no ceiling to it. It just goes up and up and up.
Time. Yeah. And that's why I say enjoy the journey, because if you're always looking for the end result and the next that stuff changes yearly.
Yeah.
Especially in the electronic side, not so much in speakers, but technology is constantly changing. If you're always chasing that latest greatest, you're never going to be satisfied. So enjoy the journey where you're at. If you've got 2 budget subwoofers or a small bookshelf speakers or whatever you're at, if you've got in-walls or only a 2.1 channel setup, enjoy that, and when the time comes and you can upgrade and get another subwoofer or add mini DSP or go to an amplifier, then, you make that step.
Yeah. Ike, Easy HT Tech said, buy used too. So I just went on eBay. The Marantz AV 7706 is going for $2,300.
Yeah.
Left and right, brand new. So that's like $600 off.
And that's a solid processor, bro. The 7705 would even be a good option.
Oh, yeah.
Depending on like if you can get a great deal on a 7705, that'd be a sweet processor as well.
Yeah. None of those on eBay, but the 7706 is on eBay with a few listings.
And that's a newer model.
That's the newest. Yeah, that's the one I have here.
It's solid, man. I haven't had any issues with either the 7705 or the AV 7706.
And now the only problem is if you're doing that gaming,
right,
then it is only going to be that one HDMI input that has the 2.1 or the 40 gigabit bandwidth. So keep that in mind. Are you using just the one console? Or you got multi? What are you using for your gaming?
I just have a Series X.
Series X, so then you should be fine.
But yeah.
And then what is your display? What are you going to?
I have a TCL 6 series.
Okay.
4K.
Okay, so that one isn't 4K 120. So you would have to if you wanted the full 4K 120 Dolby Vision gaming situation, then you would upgrade that too at some point.
Yeah. I just want to try future proof as much as I can.
Sure. I mean, the TVs are great because they come out every year, so you can always get the last year's one at a pretty hefty discount. I I think LG, my LG and the gaming on the Series X, even though like the AVRs have all the 4K 120, I still go directly into the TV and I have eARC doing the audio, and it's perfectly fine. I have no like audio delay or anything like that, but I prefer to run it that way. So
even
yeah,
if TV doesn't have eARC, if it has regular ARC, will it still transfer Dolby Atmos? Or not?
yeah, it will. It just won't be like the lossless, and not, you know, for like a video game, you're not gonna notice really.
Yeah, I can really tell.
Yeah. I mean, I remember Mike's video. What's that? You're the best movie you tried out in your home theater with some video game, right? What was the game?
Oh, that was God of War, man.
Oh, God of War.
Phenomenal. Yeah.
Oh, look at that. Accessories for less,
$23.99
for a Marantz. So there's options out there, man, that'll kind of.
Well, that might be refurb. I don't know. Some of these are. Yeah, this is refurb.
Oh, from Accessories for Less.
But I've ordered plenty of stuff from them and sent plenty of people, and I've not heard anybody say anything bad so far about any of their experiences with this company. So it might be worth checking into if you're.
And they're from Florida, so you know they got to be good.
Oh yeah, of course. All the things from Florida are great.
They're
absolutely. Yeah.
We have a few more.
You disagree?
We have a few more.
Shots fired.
Hopefully that helps.
Enjoy your snow, loser. I got your back, Michael.
Thanks, man.
Hey, no problem.
I'm on Pioneer's website. What was that one receiver you told me about?
Accessory. Well, eBay is where he found them, but then there's Accessories for Less.
Yeah, Accessories for the model number you're looking for is Marantz AV7706. That's the newest one with the single HDMI input for 4K 120. And all the other bells and whistles.
Hey, we're gonna have to get going soon.
Yeah. Thank you so much for the call. And I'm glad we could help.
All right. Take care.
Thank you.
All right. So
Aaron, I struck a nerve earlier, man. I don't want to dive too deep, but I know I made a comment about not everything that can be measured can be heard.
No.
And you was like, you bowed up like a chicken, man, or a rooster.
I was just kidding, man.
What?
I was just kidding.
What?
I was like, what are you talking about, man? Come at me, bro.
Fun. That's right.
So
Jonathan Rowe has a $5 super chat and a $2 super chat. Do you have any recommendations for a projector with 10-foot throw for 110 to 120 inch screen, $3,000 budget, coming from an LG CX 77-inch OLED? Just want to go bigger.
All right, so you can go here to Projector Central. They have this projector calculator, and so yeah, you can just type.
Yeah, I've heard to get like you kind of need a 12-foot throw distance to get like that 120-inch screen. So that you might be cutting it a little close, but it all depends.
It depends on the projector too, because the lens.
Mm-hmm.
Right, so some of them have different throw distances, but you just type in this. You know, I typed in 10 feet, 120 inch within his price range, and this is kind of what came up: the BenQ 355 HT3550, which I have. I also have the TK850, and that's what I'm currently using at 10 feet. Yeah, so that's the distance I'm using actually.
Mm-hmm.
So I have a 120-inch screen, 10-foot distance, and it looks great. The main difference between these two, TK850 is more for a brighter room. The 3550 has better colors for a dark room. I still end up using the TK850 just because I just like a brighter image. So, what other ones? I'm surprised there's no Epson in here somewhere. But yeah,
JVC. Everybody loves JVC and Sony.
I don't know if
you're not going to get that
price range though. 3,000.
Yeah.
What about Sony? No Sony in that?
Maybe an older one. No.
Yeah. You're looking at typically those run like $5,000.
I paid a lot less than that for my Sony, but I also got it through a dealer who just said, "I'll give you my price." So I was like, "Okay, sure."
Yeah, that doesn't.
Yeah. So I don't know what they're going for nowadays either.
Yeah, a lot of times they're about 5, 6, 7, depends on what model.
Hopefully this helps. Yeah, just check out this website, and you should see a few. You know, I love all the BenQ stuff just because the colors out of the box are very good. A lot of them, like the 3550, is color calibrated by them from the factory. Not as good as like, you know, if you had somebody come over, but the colors are actually very good. And that's important Because if you're spending, this is a $1,500 projector, you may not want to spend $700 for somebody to come. Oh, whatever the charge is for, considering how much that is compared to the projector, right? When you're buying a JVC and you're spending 7 G's, yeah, pay the guy $700.
Yeah.
So it's nice when it comes from the factory with good colors already. I can't say the same for some of these others. The ViewSonic, I don't know, maybe, but the BenQs are kind of known for that. So that's why I kind of stick to those. But the Epsons, they're really good for other reasons. I've never reviewed one. Michael used to have one.
I used to have one.
Black levels.
I had the 1080. Well, so mine was like the baseline that everybody had at one point, like the 1080 UB or something like that. But the thing the picture was fine for what I paid for it. But the thing I didn't like was the fan. And that's one thing that is not really addressed enough when you've got a big projector above you and the fan's just going. That's annoying, dude. So when I got the Sony, that was one of my favorite things about it. Is a quiet fan.
They can get loud. So yeah, hopefully that helps. What else we got? We got a few more super chats. Can just go through.
Yeah, Boy Genius threw in a $10 super chat. Chris Wyndham. Thank you guys so much.
Did you get this one?
Yep.
That was from Jonathan. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. So yeah, thank you guys so much for coming and hanging out. This is the Daily HiFi Podcast. We do this every Monday, 4 p.m. Pacific. And yeah, for those of you that are patrons, we will see you guys in just a few minutes. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, if you go to patreon.com/dailyhifi and sign up to become a patron, we do this after show right after this show, hence the after show, right? It's the after party. Come and hang out, ask some more questions, and we dive into all kinds of other topics as well. My name is Chana on behalf of Aaron,
Eric,
Joe, and Michael. We'll see you guys next week.
Later.
See you guys.
holla.